wanderer in the Sunken village. You must be lost. Back in the day, you just needed to look at the stars and you'd know where you were going. Now, even they are misplaced. Monsters? I think you misunderstand. I don't see any monsters here, only lost villagers, still clinging to their home. It's sad, but as you can see, not much depends on us. The world just keeps on happening, and you happen along with it. They were given some time which they've tried to use as much as they could, that's all. I'm glad they allow me to stay here despite what happened. I like this place. It's the cycle of life. There's nothing to be afraid of. If you're afraid, it means you're struggling with something too much, my friend. Sometimes you just need to sit and look. Watch everything turn. The sunken village was not always sunken, but one day someone, undoubtedly important, made a decision, undoubtedly necessary, that it would be better to make it so. So the wave came and made the village into the sunken village, and its inhabitants, well, you can see for yourself. Long ago enough for people to have no chance of discovering why it happened, and yet recently enough that this place still reminds us of it. Now the village is what it is, and the past has washed away. At least it can still be home for them. And I'll stay and look. These are interesting times indeed. Among others, this wouldn't have happened if not for Camelot's desperation. Hey, many tragic decisions were made. I don't know if the word was so unambiguous or if its interpretation failed. What happened on the fields of the Charred Conclave wasn't just about the flood, my friend. It was about things and forces we don't understand. That's a good question. Maybe they burnt during the Charred Conclave. Maybe not. Nevertheless, the punishment was delivered and justice prevailed. Once again, the world was made a better place. At least that's what those who set fire to the stakes preach. All in the name of the Word. I know that some Druids did it. Specific individuals, although their names have long been forgotten. This is no great mystery, my friend. You'd have to ask those responsible for the flood. Who knows what's going through people's heads? Maybe someone ordered them to do it. We'll never know. I guess I'm just an old man listening to the sound of the sea. Every wave carries a story, you know. Some are whispers, others are roars. I like to think they're keeping me company. Long ago I decided to wait for something to happen. So I'm waiting for what's ahead of me. But I can feel that it's closer than ever. Everything that's around us, it's not yet the end. And that thought really bothers me. I have everything I need. The entire world in one place. Before you go, I would like to ask you one thing. Who are you? I understand. I see you, I hear you, and I have a feeling that you will find what you're looking for. Farewell, and thank you for visiting me, my friend. You can come keep me company whenever you want. The sunsets here are beautiful.
Sometimes it's nice to just sit and think.
Why would you want to fix it? Do you even know what it is?
Take some advice from an old man. If there's a giant, ancient statue that somebody tried to turn to dust, they must have had a good reason for it.
Well, if you put it that way, then I suppose I have to tell you the truth. Otherwise, the terror from the sea will bite me in the ass while I bathe.
Of course I can fix it. I've been doing this kind of thing since I could swing a hammer. It's a skill we pass down from master to apprentice, generation to generation. Nothing fancy, just good old blacksmithing. Obviously, though, you'd have to bring me a couple things so that I can actually do it. How did you, Oh, forget it. I don't even want to know. Just give me a moment.
Here, that should do it. Do whatever you need to if you're really sure about this. But please try to come back alive.
I have nothing to tell you. I could try to talk you out of it, but I'm guessing that wouldn't work. Veragas as captain. Well, that's the kind of solid choice we've been needing. Killian, though... Well, here's hoping his new post doesn't mean the rest of us get to bleed for his amusement.
Disturb my peace. You made an oath never to summon me again. Excalibur. Wait. Is it really you? yourself before me.
It seems he speaks to me. Allow me to answer him.
Welcome, old friend.
I can see that you know me, but I am a mere shadow of my true self. I don't remember you, Lord of the Seas. Forgive me.
That's what you told me, my friend. The next time we see each other, you will not remember me. But you are here now. The will and the power led you back to this place. Even in this incomplete form.
Where should I look for myself? I wish to restore Avalon to its former glory, yet I don't know how.
Avalon's fate has never rested upon one person alone, not even one as great as King Arthur. Yet here you are, trying again, restless and eager to take the responsibility again. I salute you, my friend.
Tell me what I must do to be worthy to lead Avalon once more. I do not think I have the strength.
Your path is true. Seek wholeness, and Avalon will reveal what it needs from you. And yes, you need to touch Excalibur.
Thank you, my friend.
And you, mortal. You have given yourself to the King's service. You are worthy of a place among the keepers of the South. Arthur, take out your sword and fear no failure. It is yours to take. It always was. I deem you worthy, my friend. The promise I gave thy mother is fulfilled, and thus our pact is ended. You know where to look for your soul. Trust yourself, and when you reach your journey's end, I trust you will make the right choice.
I am his will, the fire that bends the world to his command. I am the blade that shapes kings and shatters tyrants.
Enough, Merlin. You can't keep throwing lives into this abyss. These experiments, they're destroying what remains of us.
Destroying us? They're what's keeping us alive. Do you think the Four Dwellers will stop for pity or mercy? Every soul we lose here saves 10 more on the battlefield. You told me to do this. You sanctioned this. And I'm close to getting it right. I know it.
No, we can't justify this. There's no victory worth such a cost.
You know full well, Arthur, that this isn't about victory. It's about survival. If we don't push these boundaries, there will be no future for your kingdom. For Avalon. You dream of peace, but without victory, there will be no peace to dream of. The path ahead is brutal, but if we relent now, we lose everything.
And yet we keep losing people and gaining nothing in return. We must change the path.
They volunteered for this.
They volunteered to save our kingdom, and you've gotten no closer to doing it. Their sacrifices cannot be in vain, Merlin. Find another way. Use your mind, your wisdom. Leave this slaughterhouse you've created behind.
A different way. That will take time, and resources we may not have. The enemy won't wait.
They will if I make them. Whatever it takes, I will buy you that time. Find me a weapon that wins this war without annihilating what we fight to protect.
Whatever it takes.
Yes. Let it be known that it was my decision, and I will bear the consequences of it.
Oh no, my king. People can never know. It was all my idea, and you knew nothing about it. All of us have our role to play. You are the leader, and they need to love you. If we win, you need to become more than a man. You need to become a symbol.
Now, I remember. Before you judge me, it all seems so obvious now, doesn't it? The right thing to do. It wasn't back then, and you can trust me on that. We were on the brink of losing the war, and wars aren't won with wishful thinking. There was no clean path, no noble answer. Only the weight of reality pressing down on our necks. Something had to be done, or everything we fought for would have been in vain. And in the end, the ones who stepped forward, who chose to pay the price, made it possible. And their deaths gave Merlin the knowledge he needed to finish his work. To find something that could really turn the tide in our favor. I did. But this wasn't about pride. It wasn't about saving face. It was about survival. The truth about all this would have broken my people. I couldn't allow that. And a king doesn't get to flinch. If that meant carrying the weight alone, so be it. I would make that choice again if I had to. Justified? No. Justification is for those who have the luxury of doubt. And I had a kingdom to save. They were brave men who volunteered their lives, just as they did every time we rode onto the battlefield. The difference was that if Merlin succeeded, one man's sacrifice could have saved us all. Could have ended the war before more blood was spilled. If sacrificing a few meant the survival of all, then there was no choice at all. Maybe they never saw justice. Maybe their real stories were erased from history. Call it cruelty. Call it madness. But if I'd done nothing, there would be no Avalon left to argue over. But the kingdom still stands. The people live. And that has to mean something. I told him to stop the experiments on our men, but to keep going. And he did. He started experimenting on the Four Dwellers, the enemy. If their bodies could be broken down, their power turned against them, wasn't that their own doing? Wasn't that fair? So he figured out how to twist the Four Dwellers' power into something we could wield. I told him to conquer the Wyrdness. And in the end, he did. He found a way to make me stronger. Stronger than any man had the right to be. It wasn't just magic. It was something deeper, older. A force that reshaped me. And with it, we won. The war ended. Avalon was ours. The bloodshed stopped, the banners were raised, and the kingdom stood safe. That's the question, isn't it? All those lives we sacrificed. Loyal souls, ready to pay the ultimate price for what we fought for. I grieved them all. I carried them with me at every step. Their memory a weight on my conscience. But it was for them that we pressed on. Because otherwise, their deaths would have been in vain. And that, I could never accept.
Something you wish you hadn't. Another piece of the king's soul reclaimed, right? What did it show you this time? Merlin. Merlin and his obsession with the Wyrdness. The king thought it could save us. Merlin thought it could be controlled. Together, they were willing to tear the world apart to win. I was a prototype for Merlin's latest idea, immortality. One of a long line of the king's loyal pawns. Used and discarded when they found a better way. When they decided to go even deeper into their madness and turn our king into a monster. Even if he didn't, he should have. He was desperate to win. And desperation doesn't leave room for conscience. every scream, every scar. Even if he didn't see it, he allowed it. That's as good as approving it. Fight back. Against who? Merlin? The king? You don't fight gods when you're just a pawn on their board. You endure. You wait. And when the time comes, you either break, or you're left to clean up their mess. That's what I do. What I've always done. Seawall was Merlin's first attempt. I was the last. We could say I was lucky, but to say that would take a truly macabre sense of humor, don't you think? Of course he'd say that. There's always a scapegoat and a convenient excuse for men like him. But it doesn't absolve him. Not when he was the one who unleashed this madness on all of us. He wanted victory, no matter the cost. And when you want something that badly, you stop looking too closely at what's being done in your name. And, after all, who said we were supposed to win this war? Who said we were supposed to survive? The monsters, the weirdness, the chaos. All of it leads back to them. We're left in the ruins of their grand plans, trying to uphold their ideals, fighting for what never was. It's time to bury all these fairy tales in a well-deserved grave. And that's what I do. You've seen what they did, what he did. And that's not the end of the story. It's not the extent of their sins. Find the pieces of his soul. Put him back together, if that's what it takes. And then we, or I alone, if you decide to defy me, can end the cycle. Either way, we will get to his resurrection. I've seen it too many times to believe the cycle will be broken before it happens. But know this. Once he's whole, Arthur's power, his mistakes, and his madness will all return. And when that moment comes, I'll be there. Whether to stand with you, or step over you. The choice is yours. Just remember that when that happens, and you stand by his side, there won't be room for both of you. You cannot kill me, and I don't want to kill you. But if you want to fight me now, I'll grant your wish. That's the least I can do.
You'll pay for that! Impressive, kid. But it'll take more to defeat me. You'll pay for that! A good strike. But I won't fall so easily. I don't back down from a fight. Face me, and let's see who's the stronger one. I don't back down from a fight. Face me, and let's see who's the stronger one. I'll test your mettle in combat. Prepare yourself for a true challenge. All right, that's enough. You win. This changes absolutely nothing, but I hope you at least feel better about yourself.
If you want the next piece, head to Cunacht. The menhir there is failing, and the Wyrdness is swallowing what's left of the village. You will need to find another artifact. The shield that was given to Palamedes by the king. He was one of the king's finest. A voice of reason amidst the madness. But it didn't save him or his legacy from what they had coming. Find the shield, and then, well, we will meet again. We'll see if your perspective changes.
That's one of our tags. Every soldier gets one when they pledge their loyalty. I just hope the body you took it from was already cold, because killing a keeper would land you in some serious trouble. You know, here's what I'm thinking. If you stumble over any of our fallen keepers out there, bring me their tags. Sure, they all swore to stay here until the bitter end, but they have families who deserve to know what became of them. It's part of my duty, but since I can't send any more beyond these walls, maybe you could lend a hand. I'll pay you for every tag you bring back. It does. Tradition is tradition, and none of us can deny that. But it's also tradition that only men can become keepers. I'm not sure those two can coexist. Still, you survived the ritual, and refusing you now would feel wrong. You've earned this honor, even though something tells me you won't remain here for long. Very well then. Kneel. In shadows and flame, we stand. In burden and blood, we endure. We guard the fragile, we mend the broken, and carry the weight that others cannot. We are the light that cuts through the storm, the beacon that guides when all seems lost, the line that bends but does not break, the hands that shield when hope falters. By this vow, you are bound. By this duty, you are capped. Rise, Keeper. Wherever you go, stay true to your oaths, and remember, now you have a home and brothers to return to. Now that you're one of us, how about a special assignment? You know the land, and you've shown you're tough enough to handle it. We, on the other hand, were stuck inside the keep. That gave the bandits time to spread like wildfire. We could use a head start in clearing them out. No, you don't. I'm your captain now, remember? Great. Here's a list of the places we need help clearing out.
Don't even say that. Someone comes, lights them in here, and then dies on all watch? The people would be at my door with pitchforks.
She's waking up. Welcome back to the land of the living, our hero.
Help her up, Ansem. Welcome to my home. Quite a scene unfolded at the menhir, with you at the heart of it. I can't decide if I'm more delighted or surprised. What was it that made the menhir react to you? I see. You have a habit of not taking things seriously, don't you? But this is no trivial matter, so I demand respect. Come now, you must have a theory. The local men here have been rather lifeless for quite some time. Then you come along, breathe life into what was dead, and, whether you meant to or not, alter the course of our history. That's how I see it anyway. Tell me, do you know what this menhir represents? So they say. The menhirs were raised by Merlin to ward off the ancient mists that burst monsters beyond human comprehension. But none of this matters in our current situation. Here, the menhir represents something more. For some, it's a symbol of freedom and independence. Strength, if you will. It shows that the people of Cunacht, my subjects, can face any challenge, even at the world's end. And for others, like our guest from Camelot, whom I'm sure you've seen, it's a symbol of power. Power once granted by King Arthur, and therefore by Camelot. And power that has been granted can be taken away. You don't have to, that's true. But since you're here, I assume you're after something in Kunak. And as the lord of this place, I'm probably in the best position to help you. Help for help. Seems fair, doesn't it? I want you to speak with Dinho and try to calm him down. He's the commander of Camelot's forces stationed in Kunak, and as you probably imagine, your presence here didn't exactly make his job easier. With the men here active again, everything could change. Palomiti's shield, you say? An unusual request. That shield rests beneath the men here. And legend has it that it used to fuel its power for centuries. I don't mind if you look at it, touch it, whatever you need. Just don't take it. It's a treasured relic, and the people of Cunacht are quite attached to it. And you're probably just as attached to your head, which you'll lose if we catch you trying to steal the shield. Officially, they say they want to gather all the men here scattered across Avalon, set them around Camelot, and bring people there to ensure their safety. That is, if they can figure out how to restore the power of the menhirs. I'm well aware. And now we're also facing an outbreak of the Red Death, which will no doubt influence Camelot's decision on whether to offer my people shelter. But with the menhir reignited, the people of Cunacht will be even less willing to give up and go to Camelot. If anything, I expect rebellion to break out, and bloodshed is something neither we nor the capital want. I don't know, to be honest. It's not something I could admit publicly, but I feel both sides have a point. I understand the people who don't want to abandon their homeland, and I understand the knights who must face a long-lost terror and find a solution to an impossible problem. Believe me, being a lord in times like these is a heavy burden. I don't think we know each other well enough to speak on unofficial terms. If you need anything, speak to Ansem. He's the one who decides what's worth my time.
Just keep your head down. Ah, a new face. I am Anselm, Major Domo to Lord Yvain. Any business to be done in Cunacht usually passes through my hands first. Challenging doesn't begin to describe it. The court is the heart of Cunacht, and if it falters, the rest follows. That's a heavy weight to bear. But if I'm honest, it's the plague that keeps me awake at night. I've seen what it does, how it spreads, how it steals lives without mercy. I lost my family to it. The only reason I'm still here is because I was locked away at court while they were quarantined. Since then, protecting this place, keeping it safe, has been more than a duty. It's been everything. Take care out there.
I'm sorry. I know this isn't a life you would have chosen for yourself. But you've conducted yourself admirably. You're strong, and you're not alone. I know this fate was forced upon you. I know all too well how that feels. So I promise, as long as I'm here, I'll help you however I can. Well, the apple has fallen far from the tree. I don't see the air of Palamedes in him. His ancestor was a ruler devoted to his people. He was even capable of defying me when the situation called for it. I always respected him for that. And Yvain, I see a man trying to please everyone. That is the gravest sin a leader can commit. Decisions are never easy, but they must be made. I see that the current lord is trying to delay that moment, and I fear it's his people who will suffer most because of his indecision. I know much time has passed. I just hope Palamedes' bloodline wasn't diluted by the carelessness of one of Yvain's foremothers.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen you around before. Ah, no, sorry. It's just that we don't see many new faces around here. Just us and the locals and, well, if you haven't noticed yet, they're not the friendliest bunch. Do they? Then maybe we're all just sick of looking at each other. I'm sure they're not all bad. This must all be quite hard for them. But it's not like I want to be here either. I've got a pregnant wife waiting for me at home, and they won't even let me buy a book for her. Yeah, about birthing and labor and whatnot. It's going to be our first, you see, so my wife's worried sick. I wanted to send it to her to ease her mind, you know? But that Dalrita wench chased me out of her bookshop and won't let me back in. Well, could you? I'd be really grateful. Just don't tell her it's for me. She won't sell it to you otherwise. Please, I'll pay you back. I'll even throw in something extra. Please, for my wife. Oh, thank you. You're a lifesaver.
What do you want? Ah, here's our troublemaker. You've really caused a stir around here with that spectacle in front of the menhir. I had everything in order. The cart was ready, and people were all set to move to Camelot. But now, you appear out of nowhere, and suddenly a dying pile of stones lights up like a bonfire. That's bad. That's very bad. Firstly, because now I have to write yet another report to Camelot that we're going to be late, and that they need to send us even more supplies. Secondly, you've somehow reignited the Menhir, and this has reignited people's hopes that they can stay. And that's dangerous. And before you ask why it's dangerous, take a look around town. The recent Red Death outbreak took its toll, and I'm pretty sure things are just going to get worse and worse. But you should be thankful to them. Their hopes are the only reason we haven't locked you up for sabotaging our initiative. If that's really what you wanted to tell me, then it would mean I need to declare a bounty on your head. And you'd have to either leave or die here in Cunacht. You can go tell Murig that your presence doesn't change anything about our deal, and that you are unwilling to help with his endeavors, whatever they may be. And if he doesn't listen, play along, but come back to me when you learn what he has planned. Isn't it obvious? For the safety of all the residents of Avalon. Only by gathering the Menhirs in one place and reigniting them will we be able to keep ourselves safe from the Wyrdness. Avalon's population has significantly declined over recent years. We're on the brink of extinction, damn it. That's why we need to stick together, to take care of each other. Only Camelot possesses the necessary infrastructure to establish the right conditions for its people. If they remain here, they will die, either from the Wyrdness itself or from the horde of monsters it spawns. And there aren't enough soldiers here for their protection. You must know that I didn't come here just to obey orders. I truly believe that this is the only way to save everyone on Avalon. Then at the very least, we'll have bought some time for those wiser than us to think of an alternative solution. Perhaps we will invade Tuathan, like in the glorious old days. Or perhaps someone will find a way to free the derelict fleet, allowing us return to the homelands. I don't know. But there's one thing I'm certain of, and I'll repeat it as often as necessary. Only by standing together can we overcome the Wyrdness. Scattering our people across the island is the worst solution, and it's a sure path to our ruin. Murig, who apparently prefers to be called Maggot, is a druid, even though he may not look the part. And druids are the only ones who know the rituals necessary to ignite the Menhirs. Due to bad luck, or more accurately, the decisions of my superiors, our options for druids are limited. That's why I'm forced to work with Murig, and prophet be my witness, neither of us is happy about that. But I'm no fool. I know that what happened in front of the Menhir might make Murig consider double-crossing us. He'll try to find a way to reignite the Menhir so that it could stay in Cunacht despite our agreement. So, if you ever find out what he's planning, if he ever asks you to fetch something for his ritual, you make sure you come to me first. I'll await your return.
Welcome to Vrel's bookshop. No reading without buying. And if you're here for porn, kindly leave before you start. Aye. Look, I don't begrudge anybody their reading habits. Each to their own. But some things should be kept private. Aye. Not only can I read, I can even make recommendations. Imagine that. So, if you have a joke to tell, don't bother. I'm pretty sure I've heard them all. And then the shopkeeper says, "Huh, it must be raining." Told you, I know them all. Maybe one day, I'll even compile them into a collection and burn it. Before you ask, no. Oh, expecting a weein'? Congratulations. Lucky you. I don't think I've seen a newborn in Cunacht for as long as I've lived here. Is that so? How about you tell me the truth? Oh, is it now? Well, well, well. And why can't he come home and buy it himself? Oh, that's precious. I chased him off because he couldn't take no for an answer. He came in and tried to seduce me. Told me he just loves to devour books. But he'd gladly do the same with me. Books, sure. Maybe for breakfast, to add variety to his military fare. When I told him I wasn't interested, he got all pissed off and called me an ugly, dumb savage. I only let him leave with his teeth intact to avoid proving him right. Tell you what, I'll sell you that book. But fair warning, I'll be sending his peer wife the story of Giron the Unfaithful, with a special edition forward for me. Deal? You presume a man like that can be taught reason? I'm afraid the book's lesson will be completely lost on him, if he even bothers to read it. He might just tear out a few pages every time he goes to the privy. Fine, fine. I won't make myself a hypocrite out of spite. I'll send his wife the priestess's book. May Mather at least bless her with a smooth labour, since she couldn't bless her with a decent man. I hope you've found a new favourite book. Enjoy your time with it.
Hi. Have you had a chance to drop by the bookshop yet? What? I wasn't harassing her. I was just being friendly. I don't see what the big deal is. Besides, she should be grateful. I bet a savage like her doesn't get all that many compliments, especially not from men like me. What? What is this shit? What am I supposed to do with this? Did that Rita bitch put you up to this? A savage, teaching me morals. Don't make me laugh. So I like women. What of it? What my wife doesn't know won't hurt her. Besides, what else am I supposed to do when I'm away from her for months on end? A man has needs, you know? I'm not a red priest, damn it. Take your money and get lost. I don't want to talk to you again.
So, you finally arrived. Or is it the two of you? It's a pleasure to meet you. Call me Maggot. I don't like that other name Denholm and his men insist on using. I don't know, and that bothers me a lot. But I sense something lurking inside you. Something quite terrifying, I must say. All I'm sure of is that you've been exposed to vast quantities of the Wyrdness and survived. And that's rare. Let's say I have certain skills when it comes to magic. Yes, the Menhir. It responded to your presence. It reacted to you. And that's unusual. It means big changes are coming to our small Cunacht. Do you know why all those Camelot troops are here? That's right. Unfortunately, they believe that by gathering all the dying Menhirs and placing them around Camelot, they'll stand a fighting chance against the oncoming Wyrdness. But they don't know, or they don't want people to know, that a Menhir is nothing but a piece of rock, unless it has been ignited by a special ritual. And if they were ignited once, they can be rekindled again. You see where I'm going with this? No, I want you to prevent Camelot from taking the Menhir. I'm too old to play a hero, but I can help you become one, if you care about things like that. And I, for once, would like to stand on the right side of history. And you got where you are in life by always listening to what people in power tell you? It's your choice, of course, but it won't hurt to listen to what I have in mind before you make your decision. That's the problem, you see. I don't have one. The moment the Menhir reacted to you, I felt something. As if a piece of my brain was trying to tell me something. But I couldn't quite reach it. I suddenly remembered about the Menhir rites, the ritual I told you about, and that there were 2 scrolls that contained it. But where are they? How do I even know that? That's lost on me. So, it looks like we'd have to take a little trip into the recesses of my memory, literally. Well, not literally. As entertaining as that sounds, you won't be dissecting me. I'm talking about a journey into the subconscious, not an anatomy lesson. Just a bit of mushroom potion and poof, you're on your way. Safest option we've got, relatively speaking. I like your eagerness, but I don't exactly have the materials required for this particular kind of potion on me. It's not like I'm letting people inside my mind every day, you know. Here's what we'll need in order to make this thing work. Just grab these and bring them back and we'll see what happens.